if you declare a debt jubilee, does that let Satan off the hook?
No. Different scales of things.
Okay.
A jubilee is part of the law that was laid down for the Hebrew people because they were a family, 12 tribes, but all related to each other. I mean, these were brothers who, through their marriages and intermarriages, created a 12-tribe family, right? And so instead of having competition and fights between the brothers and their families over land and other possessions that would develop out of people borrowing and not being able to pay back and all this other stuff, very strict rules were laid down. For example, you could lease out your land, but you couldn't sell it.
Gotcha.
The land had to stay within the family, and it was by grant.
Sure.
You got to use land, okay? And you couldn't charge usury on any loan that you made to another Jew. Usury was a sin. It was recognized as a sin. If you were going to loan to a Samaritan, well, go ahead and charge him whatever the market will bear. But if you're going to loan to another Jew, you don't charge him any interest on that loan. And then there was the Jubilee process. Say that through no fault of my own, I accrued a debt. No. Say that my father died and a swarm of locusts came and ate our crops, and the cattle got some sort of disease and died on you. This horrible story of everything landed on my head. My name is Job, and so you become indebted to your relatives. You owe Uncle Hiram 50,000 shekels, and you owe cousin Zebedee 40 sheep. You've got all these debts, right? Well, every 7 years, the debts have to be forgiven, and everybody goes back to their own house and their own estate, and you start over.
Huh.
So okay. that is the true Hebrew way of doing things.
Gotcha.
And every 50 years, there's a super jubilee, when all of the debts get wiped away, and there is a year of there's what they call the fallow year, where nothing happens. You don't sow your fields, you don't do anything that you normally do in terms of making money and profit off the land. Everything is resting. It's like a Sabbath. So that
for the world.
Everything can regenerate. So everything can have rest.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have this giant jubilee where nobody has any debt either.
Mm-hmm.
So that you're not worried about paying for debt or anything. Mm-hmm. All you're worried about is getting through that year and having enough material and everything stocked up so that you can live for a year without toiling, without working the fields, without doing all these things that you normally do to make a living.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Well, there hasn't been a jubilee in over 800 years.
It's a long time.
There's just been this constant debt accumulation, more usury, more pillaging, plundering, and profit mongering and power mongering from the bankers. And we're now at a position where we're basically saying, okay, it's time for all this debt to be washed away, and for the final debt to be washed away so that there is no more debt. I mean, think about it. Jesus paid all debts forever. It's over. This shouldn't be happening.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Right. Well, and even according to the church, you know, according to the scripture, according to everything, it's crazy. Even according to the Jewish scripture, the Old Testament, it's crazy that we're doing this the way we are doing it. So, even though our government is not a theocracy, we can observe as individuals that this shouldn't be happening, and we can call them on it.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to stand here deaf, dumb, and blind and pretend that Jesus didn't already pay this debt. And not just for me or for you or for other Christian believers, but for the entire earth, for
Right.
everyone, forever, for the Hindus, for the Muslims, for the Baha'is, for everybody. He paid the price. It would be just like, what can I compare it to? Say that if you were in this entire stadium full of people and you all went there and you watched the game and you ate your fill and at the end of it all, you were told, oh, you owe $50,000 in gold for attending this football game and eating your fill of peanuts and beer and hot dogs. And you're standing there, you're going, what? I didn't know that I owed $50,000 for doing this. What kind of contract is that? And then someone just kind of comes out of the crowd, mild-mannered guy, and he says, oh, I already paid for all of this. Don't worry about it. Go home, enjoy your lives.
Fantastic. Thank you for that, Anna.